Hi there, my name's Ian Wright, and I've been asked to do a little chat, a podcast on meditation, which is a huge subject because it's International Meditation Day, or Worldwide Meditation Day, coming up this week. The interesting thing about meditation is it's so important, and there is this huge amount of research now talking about all the different benefits. It's recognized these days as a scientifically backed tool which can be prescribed by doctors to help with well-being. The research started actually in the 1960s, where there was a guy called Herbert Benson, a Harvard cardiologist, and he started to look into the potential benefits of different forms of meditation, and I think he spent a lot of his life doing so, and he coined the term this relaxation response, how the body goes through this physical and mental relaxation. Subsequently, there's been a huge body of research into wide different areas of physical, psychological and cognitive benefits of meditation, some of which I'm just going to briefly mention. One thing I want to talk about is stress. Now, the whole podcast on stress, so I'm not going to talk about that, but I refer you to that and the idea of distress and the idea of overstimulation of our modern day's environment and all the different stress triggers that affect us all the way through, and anxiety. These are a couple of key things that are huge subjects that I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again in different areas. I'm not going to talk about them anymore right now. Anyway, the research-based evidence for meditation includes the following. It has been shown to reduce physical pain symptoms. It's been reduced to slow down the production of stress hormones. It's been shown to boost the function of the immune system by, number one, decreasing inflammatory markers in the blood, but also improving general immune coherence, which is quite an interesting thing. It's been proven to help sleep quality and helps in the treatment of insomnia, difficulty in sleeping. It's been helped to directly decrease blood pressure, to increase how people feel, the energy that people feel, which is a subjective thing, but people's subjective experience of feeling more energy has been improved. It's been shown to decrease symptoms of premenstrual syndrome. It's been shown, an interesting piece of research regarding something called telomeres, which are these little kind of caps on the end of DNA strands which protect them. And it's been shown to actually increase these telomeres or decrease the breakdown of these telomeres, which actually slows down body aging. It's been shown to decrease the frequency, duration and intensity of migraines and headaches. Actually, one of the biggest bringers of meditation techniques, a guy called Genka, who started this form of meditation based on Buddhist techniques called Vipassana, very important form of meditation. He actually was a sufferer of migraines, and he took up meditation himself in order to decrease migraines. On a psychological level, it's been to decrease feelings and sensations of stress. It's been shown to improve emotional intelligence skills. It's been shown to decrease anxiety, decrease depression. It's been shown to be helpful in the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder. It's been shown to decrease addiction patterns and relapsing in addiction. It's been shown to improve the quality of relationships and decrease emotional reactivity and increase self-esteem. So there's a huge amount of different effects that have been shown clinically. Cognitively, it's been shown to increase memory, increase executive function, which is processing. It involves quite a lot of different things in terms of short-term memory, processing priorities, and goal attainment. It's been shown to decrease somewhat the risk of dementia, to increase creative thinking. It's actually been shown to help rebuild the loss of grey matter in the brain. It's been shown to decrease the effects of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and shown to increase focus, amongst other things. So we've got this huge array of potential benefits. The thing is, why isn't everybody doing it? That's my question. Now, what is meditation? There's a lot of different definitions of it, but it could be defined as a practice or a technique to help achieve clarity or a calm state. It comes from the Latin meditatio, which is to think, to contemplate. Other definitions include a group of self-regulation practices which work with attention and awareness to bring that under greater control, to bring calmness, concentration, and clarity. The Oxford Dictionary classifies it as an ability to focus one's mind for a period. So it could be included study. There's historically, meditation has been linked with religious practice or spiritual practices. Nowadays, less so, but it's both. It's in all of the great religions: Taoist, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, Kabbalah, Islamic, Sufism, pagan, New Age, and it's been included prayer, devotion, contemplation. But if we try and separate technique from tradition, because techniques come from various traditions, especially Buddhist and Taoist traditions, and separate it away from kind of contemplation of God and prayer or deities or deity-focused meditation, we start to look at what actually the different areas of focus in meditative practice. So we can either have a focused meditation practice where you focus your mind on something. For example, you focus your mind on Christ or love, or in different practices you can say a mantra, a particular repetitive grouping of words which you focus your brain on. Prayer, where it's so you're focusing intention directed towards a deity or God, or there are meditative practice that are focusing your awareness or your attention on a specific object, like a candle that's in front of you, or focusing your attention or awareness on breathing or any other object. Or there can be mindfulness-based practice, which is based taking in all of the events, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and watching all those at once. So this is more of an open monitoring. So this is like a non-reactive monitoring of your current experience without reacting to it, moment to moment. This is kind of more an open awareness-based meditation without focus. There are some techniques that bring in both, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Then there are specific techniques, like, for example, the practice of loving kindness in Tibetan Buddhism. May you be happy, may you be well. You go through a group of practices which direct these kind of loving kindness thoughts towards family, friends, neutral people, loved ones, and then people you don't like, enemies as well. So it's quite that's a lovely practice to do, actually. Or you've got Taoist practices, which I'm a particular fan of, which start off with more kind of moving internal energy around you and develop into other things. So you've got this huge, I'm just mentioning a few things here. There's so many different ways in, what I would call ways in of practice. What's the goal? Well, there are different goals. Calmness, well-being, feelings of well-being. For me, the goal would be more to do with engaging with and developing a relationship to stillness, to a sense of stillness. So I'm going to talk about more my particular work, which is called the Dynamics of Stillness, a little bit. So I'll call all these different practices ways in. So you can use, I look at a variety of different practices from Taoist, Buddhist, Vipassana, stuff that's linked to indigenous tribes, on talking about the tides, the great fluid tides in nature. But also, when I'm teaching this work, I look at developing our sensory awareness, developing a very specific ability to understand where our attention is, either inside us or around us in nature, and being very clear as to where our attention is. Deep precision in our sensory awareness. I also look at breath work and some somatic body awareness work. There's a whole plethora of what I would call ways in. And these ways in, for me, gain us an ability to either move our attention or attentional awareness at will, or to be moved by the moment. So let our attention, our awareness be moved by what's there, which is actually, you could link to being both forms of focus and open awareness monitoring. So for me, I like to use a little bit of both, whatever's relevant in the moment. But this is to take me to a specific place. So this becoming awareness of attention, this self-awareness, you could term consciousness. Now, all these varieties of different techniques that we would use as ways in take us to this point. And this point is where our awareness or our attention dissolves into this great stillness, into this greater awareness where it's not focused and everything goes quiet, and the room goes quiet, and everything goes quiet all the way out as far as the horizon. And this brings with it a sense of wholeness, a sense of oneness, a sense of connection with this great tide or the Tao, if you want to talk about it in a different way. And this is where attention and awareness go. So for me, my purpose when I do meditative practice and teach it, I use a variety of techniques as ways in to this point where we dissolve into this oneness. And that, for me, is the goal of the practice, which is a very beautiful thing to experience. One last thing I want to talk about is the idea of developing a practice. So I think I've done a podcast on this already. It's a really important thing. Basically, the more you do it, the more you can do it. So what happens is, especially when you go towards this process of engaging with this stillness, or being connected to this stillness, or being this stillness, every time you touch base with this stillness, or you develop a relationship with it, the relationship deepens and you can find your connection to the stillness. Every time you do it, it becomes easier, deeper, and more amazing. So there's a very clear point of why we would do it once or twice a day, and actually at the beginning, just doing 3 or 4 minutes of one practice it can develop you in, and actually you'll want to start doing it. It's not a case of having to do it, because you want to connect with this because it feels so sweet, it feels so beautiful. So this idea of developing a practice until you actually want to do it, and there's no need to develop it because it becomes integrated into your normal life. And actually this stillness can come in at all times and come into what you're doing on a day-to-day level. Anyway, more of this another time. I wish you well, and I wish you a good World Meditation Day, and try and meditate. Best wishes.